Schneider Electric is proud to bring this podcast to you. Schneider's mission is to be the customer's digital partner for sustainability and efficiency, and bringing insights such as you are about to hear helps further that mission.
My name is Jo Taranto and I'm joined today by Maritsa Kacopieros, Team Leader Water in Canberra, and Rebecca Argento, Process Engineer at GHD. And we're talking today about attracting females to the STEM sector. Welcome, Maritsa and Rebecca. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much. You're really excited to be here.
Rebecca, you're an engineer, you're a woman. What got you into it?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question and something that I often get asked. But when I think back to why I even studied engineering in the first place, I grew up on a farm. I was really into understanding how things worked, problem solving, a little bit creative. And I think I chose engineering because I saw some of those elements and thought they aligned with my personality. But I also sort of hedged my bets. I studied commerce as well, just in case engineering didn't quite work out, because a few of my friends had warned me that, there's no girls in Eng. I don't think it's really for you. And I even had some teachers that said, are you sure about this? But as soon as they said that, it kind of made me want to do it more because I really wanted to prove them wrong. And I think as soon as I started studying, I just really enjoyed what I was learning, the skills that I was developing. Here I am.
Maritsa, for you, you've been in this space a little bit longer. What is it like once you're in the industry, as a woman, and does it feel like you are part of a smaller minority?
Yes, simple answer, but it is getting much better, which is really nice. And I think for me, I've been quite lucky. I've worked for companies that have always been really supportive, and I haven't had too many negative experiences directly, which has been really nice. I've never felt like it's held me back. I can be quite an outspoken female as well, and that also hasn't held me back, which is quite good. I think for me, it also did start at uni, and one of the biggest things is that the males don't notice it as much because they are the majority, and I think that reflects a lot of things when you're not in the minority group, and reflects why we really need to make sure we're involving people in conversations, because you just don't notice what you don't notice. And a real classic example of that at the start of my career, when I was a graduate working in project management, we'd have client meetings and it would be me and the project manager. And every time we'd go to client meetings, I'd always be the only female in the room and the only person they wouldn't shake my hand. And it wasn't something that they'd overtly do, but something that I would notice, obviously, because they'd shake my colleague's hand next to me and not shake mine. And I actually had someone say to me once as well, I don't know if I should shake your hand or give you a kiss on the cheek. And I said, we're in a professional setting, so you shake my hand.
Please don't kiss me. That would be weird.
And we had unconscious bias training at work a few months later, and I raised it in that session. And the colleague who was with me for that whole time was mortified because he hadn't noticed. Yeah. And I was like, he was standing right next to me every time it happened, every time we went for a meeting. And I think from that, I noticed when people do make the effort to come and shake my hand. And it sounds silly, but I think it's just showing respect. And I've raised it since with other colleagues to just say, try to be aware of what you're not aware of. I'm quite a confident female, so I haven't let it hold me back, but not everybody has that same level of confidence to put their hand out and look them in the eye and say, make sure you shake my hand, please. So overall, very positive experience though.
So, Rebecca, why do you think we have issues, maybe historically or continue to, attracting women into STEM fields?
Yeah, it's a really great question. And I think it comes back to a lot of the research that has shown is that females, particularly at high school, don't know what engineering or STEM is about. And so they don't enroll in STEM subjects and they don't pursue a STEM career path because they don't know what it looks like and they don't know day to day what they would be doing. And, at university, once they're already in that career path, it's a lot of pressure to put on an 18-year-old to kind of pick where do you want to go. And so they're more likely to choose something they're familiar with and that they have an understanding of. And so core to a lot of work that we're trying to do is show students what it is to work in STEM and what it looks like day to day, how broad the depth of career paths are, there's so many different options within STEM, and we're just, as an industry, we're not great at communicating that. I think I've said before to some people, like, we don't have a cool, sexy show like Greys or Suits. No one knows what we do. And so when we talk in like jargon, like we tend to do, no one understands what we're talking about.
Even within the industry.
I think we know what's needed. That's what's needing to come. I hope to hear about that at future events.
TV show.
Yeah, that's right. Maritsa, there has been improvements. That, like you said, there has been some changes, but I think even in your work, you've explained that in the last couple of decades, there's only been about a 2% increase in female enrolments. So that's pretty slow progress. Why do you think progress is so painstakingly slow?
So one of the things that came out when our colleague was looking at the research into this was also the fact that people are focusing too late. So programs that are aimed at university students or graduates, they've already gone through their schooling. You've already missed the boat. We really need to make sure we're going further up the pipeline to high school students. High school students before they get into university and they've already picked their degree. I think once you've gone through university, you understand how flexible it can be and that you can change. But I remember in high school, it was, this is what I'm picking and that's it. So you really want to get in before they've committed mentally even to, this is what I'm picking, I'm not going to change because it's going to be too hard.
Tell us then about the program you've been working on at GHD, the STEM Pathway program.
So the STEM Pathways program was created by one of our colleagues in Melbourne, Monica George. She looked at available programs that trying to attract more females into STEM, and she identified some of the things that we've spoken about. And she created this program, which is an immersive week-long work experience. So we get high school students in year 10 and we get them into the office for a week. They get to work on a mock project. So it's a project that we've actually delivered in the past as a company. So it's a real life, tangible, this is what you're working on. And there's a timetable for the week that includes presentations, time working on specific tasks. So each of the girls gets assigned a role on the project. They might be the project manager, they might be the water infrastructure engineer, electrical engineer. And within those roles, they have set tasks to complete for the week. And we don't just say, go complete them. They have a buddy that helps to guide them and helps to integrate them in the team that they're in for the week. They also come together for joint presentations as a group, and there's coordination sessions as well. So within engineering, when we're working on a multidisciplinary project, we all have to work together across disciplines, and we make the girls do that as well. We say, geotechnical engineer, you really need to speak to the structural engineer about what they're going to be designing because your information is going to really help them. And what it does is it gets the girls to do rather than just listen. So one of the things that Monica found was a lot of things aimed at getting more females into STEM is just a one-off presentation, and they just sit and they listen to someone talk for an hour, or they do something that's in a very specific area. So one of the benefits of this program is they get to see a lot of different disciplines. They get to actually do it themselves. And we find that by the end of the program, their understanding of what STEM actually means and what a career in STEM looks like is vastly different to when they started at the start of the week. And we have data for that because we get them to fill in a survey. So it's not just our impression of that, but yeah, it's had a lot of success. So this is the 7th year, I think. So we ran it every year since 2017. We've partnered with over 10 schools in that time. And it's just shown to be really successful in helping the girls understand, which is one of those barriers that is so important to what they then pick as to what they want to do.
Rebecca, what have the participants been saying about the program in the feedback, and have there been some other benefits to the program that maybe weren't expected?
Yeah, so in terms of feedback, we get the students to fill out a survey at the start of the week, asking them on their understanding of STEM careers, and then we get them to fill out a similar survey at the end of the week. And overwhelming, the results feed into common themes that are, I really understand what STEM is about. I did not realise how collaborative and creative and problem-solving this role would be. And another one is around the communication and digital elements. I think from a consulting career, communication is key, and that's not conveyed to students that's what STEM and engineering is about. There's no point designing something if you can't then communicate that solution to someone else. And so seeing that feedback really helps us in, I guess, affirming that, yes, this program is achieving what we want it to achieve. Then also we have a partner school who we've been with since the program's inception in 2017, and that's the Academy of Mary Immaculate in Melbourne. And they've informed us that for the first 3 cohorts of students that went through the program, 80% of them are now studying STEM-related degrees at university. And when you think about that, like in the context of female enrolments in STEM, they're currently around 35% and around 18% for engineering. So if we can get 80% of the students that come through the program enrolling in a STEM degree, I think that's a huge success. On top of that, the business has also seen really big benefits. We've had staff that have been involved in the program come back to us and say, I have learnt about other areas of the business through the program, through hearing from the other students talk about what their experiences have been and what their roles have been on the project. And just the buzz, in the office during the week that we have the students come in, it's so exciting. Everyone's filled with enthusiasm. Everyone's really optimistic about the future. And being able to sort of give back in that sense has really helped our staff.
Can I just add another feedback from the students, and I'm probably going to misquote it, but we asked for the feedback, obviously, and one of the students said, engineers are the people that are really helping society thrive. They're the people behind the scenes that people don't realise. And I think for me that really epitomises, they really do get that engineers and science and the whole industry contributes to society, and that's something that's really impactful and meaningful, and that's what they're looking for when they're trying to pick what they want to do.
You're listening to the Australian Water Association podcast series, and I'm speaking to Maritsa Kacopieros and Rebecca Argento from GHD.
Do you think there's, a burden that comes from having students in the organisation for a period? I know that some people think, work experience, it's going to, and what would you say to other organisations who might be going, well, we want to do it, but it sounds like a lot of hard work?
So the ethos for the program that Monica started, we've got a core organising committee that obviously do all the paperwork and all the arrangements and make sure that it runs smoothly. But from the start, Monica knew that we're all busy. It's a busy industry, especially now. And the ethos of the program is to engage with as many people across the business for smaller pockets of time. So that's the way it's really managed to stay sustainable for as many years as it has. And Becca already mentioned it, the enthusiasm and the excitement when it's STEM Pathways Week in the office. There's messages all over the people mention it in their team meetings, it's STEM Pathways Week, and there's just such an energy in the office because they love being able to feel like they're giving back and contributing to potentially, hopefully, more diversity in the sector.
Have you seen any of the students join you as graduates or part of the... Or is that you're waiting on your first?
We're on the cusp, I think. We're on the cusp of the
must
first
be getting
students
close.
Graduating, yeah.
So the first students that we hosted were in 2017. And so they are completing their university degrees within this year or next year. And so I've got my fingers crossed that one of them will join us as a grad in the coming years.
And then hopefully that's a stat we can add.
Absolutely. Well, with retention and attraction so hard for everyone, it's got to be another compelling piece to the puzzle, isn't it? I'm interested to know if there's a plan for this program in the future. Obviously, it's been very successful so far. What do you think is up for GHD in this space?
So we've been working with other areas within GHD. We've run a program twice now in Geelong, and for their program they use a local site that they can use for their project, which means the students can still go out to the site visit, they can still relate to the context of the project. And further to that, we're working with other offices around GHD. So that includes Albury-Wodonga, Sydney and Brisbane to try and get a program running in their offices.
And Darwin, hopefully.
And then we're also trying to partner with water authorities. We recognise that we can't reach everywhere and we don't have offices in every location. But particularly in regional and remote areas, the inhibitors for women enrolling in STEM subjects are magnified, and so the impact we can have in those areas is probably greater than we can in a metro area. And so that's going to be a real aim for us in future.
And has the program changed from when it first started? Is it looking different these days?
Yeah, so another ethos of the program is to make sure it's continuing to add value. And so part of the survey that we get the students fill in is please give us feedback if there's something that would be better for you. We also get feedback from others that participate in the program. And so we have made changes over the years to the program. One of those was to have themes for each day. Another feedback was that the girls wanted more time to collaborate together, which is where those coordination sessions came in that I mentioned earlier. We've added client industry lunches to see if we can engage with broader industry and get them engaged with the program as well. So it's kind of adapted over the years as it's needed to. Another big change that's happened was during COVID. Obviously, we're in Melbourne at the time. I'm sure everyone knows what happened to Melbourne during COVID. We went into quite significant lockdowns. And so there was a year in 2020 where we were all at home because we needed to be. The students were still allowed to go to school. And so the organising committee was really keen to not miss a year of students. And so we adapted the program to deliver it in a hybrid model where the students were together at school and all the staff were online at home. And then in 2021, unfortunately, once again, there was another lockdown and the students themselves were also at home. But once again, we adapted the program because we wanted to make sure that we didn't miss a year. And we had a fully online program. And so we did little things like recording some videos for them to watch rather than do all of the presentations just as an online listen session. And so it has definitely stayed flexible and adapted over the years.
And I would add that with our online program, it did have a surprise benefit in that we were able to reach much more students than we normally would. So we had double the number of students that we would have in the office join our online program, which was, a great benefit. It was a challenge at the time, but a really, great sort of surprise that came out of that.
Well, it certainly sounds better than any work experience program I was ever part of. I don't know, you probably feel the same way. If people want to know more about the program, what can they do?
So one of the great things about Monica that created this program, she's very keen for more students to be reached. And so if you're interested or the program sounds like something that your company might want to run, please reach out to either Rebecca or myself or even Monica George on LinkedIn. We'd love to talk to you. We've got packages of documents that we can help provide to help you run a program, and we're very happy to help support you in getting it up and running. We found that once it's up and running, it's pretty easy to maintain, but that first year can be a little bit daunting. So please do reach out to us. We'll set up a time to chat and take you through the process.
I've been speaking with Maritsa Kacopieros, Team Leader Water in Canberra, and Rebecca Argento, Process Engineer, both from GHD. Thank you so much for your time, Maritsa and Rebecca.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks so much.